This is Sharon Vornholt with Innovative Property Solutions and the Louisville Gals Real Estate Blog, and I am really happy to have with me today my friend Iman Yuseff-Yayah, who is located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she's known there as that Philadelphia Wholesaler Chick. Iman has been investing in real estate since 2004 and has been a full-time real estate investor for a couple of years now. There are a lot of people that do what she does, but not how she does it. Iman is also a member of a group called the Diversified Investors Group, and she's a brand new member of the Philadelphia Real Estate Mastermind. Iman has a very popular blog called Real Estate Wholesaling Explained, and I would encourage everyone to check it out. She has a wealth of information on there about wholesaling and about real estate investing in general. She also does a fair amount of video on there too. One thing I love about her blog is that she has a tagline on there that says the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, I swear. So you can count on her to give you some good information. Good morning, Iman.
Good morning, Sharon.
So take us back. I know you had a full-time job, a good job before you got into real estate. So let's go back to when you had your job and start there.
Okay, yeah. I was employed by the IBEW, which is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and what I did was, I was a communications technician. What we did was we wired computer networks for large data centers, and that's what I was doing. And when I first, was introduced to the idea of real estate investing, I was, working full time. I was working on a project at CNBC, and this guy there who happened to be the project manager overseeing some other folks on a project had, one morning told me that him and his fiance were investing or buying properties for these, ridiculously, low, prices. So I really didn't believe that was possible, but, he introduced me to the book. I believe it was Multiple Streams of Income by Robert G. Allen. So that was my first introduction. And from there, I just, researched everything I could find out. And it was tax liens, actually, is what the strategy, how he was picking up the property. So.
Okay. Well, that was, so you had someone tell you about it. And when did you first start investing when you still had your job? Is that how that went?
Yes. I was working full time. As I said, I was researching the net. I was in all kinds of real estate investing forums. I had joined RIA in my area where I was living at the time. I was living in North Jersey, right outside New York City, and my niche at the time was, it was short sales. So okay. That's how I got started.
Okay. What challenges did you have initially trying to work and do real estate?
Well, I guess just, the fact that I, 8 hours of my life was, spent working for my employer.
Yeah.
And, just really just not knowing a whole lot and relying on someone else to mentor me. So, I guess that just, at the time, money wasn't the issue in terms of having a budget to market. Just, inexperience pretty much, so a lot of not knowing what the heck I was doing. So that just was my experience.
So at what point did you leave your job? Was it a planned exit or were you downsized? What was your path to leaving your job?
Yeah, it wasn't a planned exit, Sharon. I was laid off in October of 2005. At that point, I was I was considered a journeyman. I was earning top dollar for for what I was doing, and unfortunately, as a union worker, you're journeyman. You're gonna maybe sit on a bench, a lot longer than you would like to because of the kind of money you're making. So they prefer to use an apprentice for labor because it's cheaper labor. So I was out of work 14 months. I got called back, but by that point, I was having some problems with my leg where I just was not able to work. I couldn't go back to work. I was facing eviction. I had my car repossessed. And that's what had me come back to Philadelphia. And I had to move back home, actually, is what what the end result of that was. And it was a very low period of my life. So, but I will say that I'm grateful. In retrospect, I'm grateful for the experience because I probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you right now.
Mm-hmm. That's with so many folks I talked to. They had some kind of an event, with their job that kind of pushed them into a not so orderly transition.
Right.
So
right.
You had a lot of problems. Did you ever consider quitting? Get so discouraged you felt like quitting?
Yes, I did. I mean, to be quite honest, I sure did because, like I said, I moved back to Philadelphia and I was solely reliant on my parents. This is a person that was, went from making $850 a week after taxes to zero. So, you know what I mean? Literally zero. So I had to rely solely on my parents to assist me with, being able to market. And initially, when I first got here, what I did was I cruised for cash. It took gas money, but, and I would jot down addresses. I live in an urban area, so, there's an abundance of, vacant houses. So that's what I did. That's, how I started to market to folks. So.
I know a lot of people have great success with that. You call cruising for cash. Some people call driving for dollars.
Right.
I think you probably have better luck in urban areas, wouldn't you say, than in suburban areas?
Yes.
It's been my experience because I live in the suburbs and right. I've done that, but I can't say that I've had great success with that. So,
yeah.
How did you manage to turn it around? You obviously changed your mindset. When you're in a very low period, you have to figure out a way to get your mind out of that spot. But you started cruising for cash, and then did you start doing any other types of marketing?
Just to touch on the whole mindset thing, I just was very committed, no matter what. Of course, there were moments where I felt discouraged. But yeah, with the vacant houses, like here in the city of Philadelphia, last count I know of is that there are 40,000 vacant houses and 35,000 vacant lots. So,
oh wow.
I used, I used and still use, yellow legal pad paper. I would, went to, look up the property, the property, the tax assessor site to find the address. And I sent letters. I wasn't able to send a whole lot, but I sent them. And I think that's the key. People often talk about taking massive action, but you also have to be consistently taking massive action. So if it's only 5 or 10 or 20 or 100, just, be sure because as we all know, this is a numbers game. So the more you just got to consistently, mail or whatever it is that you're doing. I then moved on to buying Bandit signs, which you can get 100. I get them from dirtcheapsigns.com. You can get the 12 by 18s, which are these smaller signs, and then they do have the 18 by 24. But these particular ones here are like 170 for me anyway. With shipping and handling, it comes to $107. So. And I would suggest to anybody whose marketing budget that's limited right now, that's probably your best bet, especially if you live in an urban area, is to put out Bandit signs to get their phone ringing. And, vacant houses, the only thing what I would say about that is that, unfortunately, with vacant houses, a lot of these people don't want to be found. So if you can just say, for instance, you're jotting down addresses, if you, make note of the fact that the property address is different from the mailing address, you probably will have more success in locating the owner because they don't live in a property. But, this is just my experience. If the property address is the same as the mailing address and it's vacant, they probably don't want to be found, and then you may have to employ the use of a Skiptrace service to try to maybe, but, that's getting a little ahead of things, but I'm just, sending out letters and Bandit signs in the very beginning on a limited budget, I think is your best, best strategy to get the phone ringing. So,
you said something there that really struck home with me, and that is if you can only send out 5 or 10 or 20 letters, send out those few. Because I hear people say all the time, I know how important direct mail is, and as soon as I get enough money to send out 500 or 1,000 letters, that's what I'll do. When you and I both know in reality you're better off to send 10 and then mail those same people repeatedly than to send out a whole bunch of letters.
I just like to say real fast though, but it's important to do. I'm a big believer in do the best you can with what you got. You'll become resourceful. Trust me. I mean, if you got to use cardboard signs, I mean, you got to be doing something. I mean, this is it. I use them for cash buyers, but you can use them, for to find motivated sellers. So, I mean, if that's the best you can do something. I mean, you got to do something. You can't just, like Sharon said, just wait until, you got to be doing something to be able to get to the point where you can mail out 500, 1,000 letters a month, You got to be doing something and let people know what you do. So
that's right. And I have to say, you are about the queen of guerrilla marketing. I would have never really thought of using cardboard signs, but that's an excellent idea. And especially like you said, in some of the inner city areas, I think it's a great idea. Now, I know that you've got really an outstanding business card that you use too, like a fold over, oversized card.
One second, Sharon, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is it. It's, this is the outside and this is the inside. It's like a mini flyer. So you fold it, They could, our buddy Chris Bruce, he's a big, proponent of using them as, would you consider what they call drop cards. Just drop these around, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I use. And, they grab attention because they're neon, orange.
I was going to say, they almost look pink from here, but I was betting they were neon orange. You can bet if you drop those, folks are going to pick them up because of the color and I think because of the size.
Right.
So do you just leave your cards around different places, and like if you go in a restaurant, or obviously if you go to a meeting you probably leave some cards around, but what are some of the places that you leave those cards?
Supermarkets, gas stations, places where there's a lot of foot traffic. I don't know, Home Depot is a good place. Lowe's. Some people may, be there because they want to try to fix up their property to try to sell it. You know what I mean? That the property may need a lot of repairs, so they may be visiting there. So, dropping those there. Plus, also, you can, with contractors going to those places, you may be able to pick yourself up a buyer for your deals as well. So I would, little shopping, strip malls, things like that, where there's a lot of foot traffic. Think. You just got to think. You know what I mean? Where your market is, your target market. Where are they? Laundromats, places like that.
Yeah. So I know you've gotten to be very successful, but I think people need to understand that we all started at the same place, kind of from zero, and you just have to start from somewhere and take some action. I think Bandit signs are a great way for most folks to start. They're relatively economical, and so if you do a few things that you said, once you pick up a few houses, then you'll have a few more dollars to market with. So how would you say being an entrepreneur has changed your life?
I did have time freedom, but I guess to put it simply, I'm the captain of my own ship, and there's a lot of freedom in that for me. I don't know if I could ever go back to working for somebody. I just, the longer I do this, the more difficult that's, the idea of that, for me is just, almost, it's non-existent really. So, I mean, it's changed my life. I mean, I've met some great, wonderful people. There's a lot of people that do what we do who are heavy into personal development. So, the type of work we do will definitely challenge you, help build character, things like that. So I don't know if that's the answer you were searching for,
no.
Sharon, but, it's given me a lot of freedom. I mean, I determine, how much I make, Nobody else is determining how much I make. I can't blame anybody, okay? If I want a raise, then, I know what I need to do to get that raise. So there's just a lot of freedom in that. There's a lot of freedom in what I do that wasn't there prior to me, working a job. It just wasn't, I make my own rules.
Now, I know that you are going to I know that you're working on internet marketing, and you're going to have a product this year, and just about everyone I've talked to has, at some point, they're still doing real estate, but they're looking for passive income streams. And I know that you're no different than that. So you've got some plans for this year for passive income streams?
Yeah, I do. I mean, actually, I do. My coaching program, actually, I launched. The site is live. I just haven't disclosed it as of yet because I still need to make a few tweaks to it. And also, another investor friend of ours, Sharon, and we're going to partner together. And then, also a standalone product. But, our primary purpose with all of it is to provide a lot of value. I mean, really over-deliver, to people who are, seeking information. And it's not about.
So, Iman, tell me, how has being an entrepreneur changed your life?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, really, I guess because, I get to be the captain of my own ship, and, I have a freedom that I didn't have as an employee working for somebody else. So, I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, I mean, I really enjoy, making things happen in my life in this way, where, I'm solely reliant upon myself. You know what I mean? If I want to get a raise or, I have to look to myself to do that. And, at this point, I really don't think that I could ever really go back to working for somebody. I really just don't think that I couldn't do it. I mean, that's just me.
It's a good feeling to be the captain of your own ship. It's also scary at times. So
it is because, you're the one generating the income for yourself, and there's not a check coming every single. Well, you know what I'm saying,
right?
Like a standard 9-to-5 job where there's a guaranteed check every week. There's no guarantees in this thing as an entrepreneur,
But it's so worth it. So worth it.
It is. It is. Most definitely.
So if you had to go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying, even with, some of the challenges, I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way, so, but anyway.
So if you had to give someone some advice, someone that's wanting to escape the 9-to-5 and be an entrepreneur, what would you tell them to, what would be your best advice to them?
You just got to be smart about it. I mean, to me, it's almost as, just like, it's analogous to, you try to put enough money aside in the event that, something happens, because the issue with, just having a job is that when that one source of income is gone, then, your income generating sources dry up. So So, put money aside because you're going to need money to market. You're going to need money to live on.
Yeah.
So, that's my suggestion. And, take massive action and be consistently taking massive action. So, but yet, like my situation, I was laid off. So it wasn't a choice. I didn't make a choice. Mm-hmm. I didn't have money, a nest egg set aside. But, if you can do that, do that. And then, you'll feel more comfortable in, and walking away from your job. So
mm-hmm. It's always good if you can plan and
right.
Make those plans. Some people have been successful doing that, and for other people, they're just thrust into the whole entrepreneurship, and that's
right.
Probably, quite frankly, the majority of the people. I want to thank you so much for doing this interview, and I'm going to put all the resources to your blog and all the things so people can find you. And once again, check out Iman's blog. She's got some great information on there, and if you want to know from someone who really does this business, check out her things that she has to teach you. So until next time, this is Sharon Vornholt with Innovative Property Solutions and the Louisville Gals Real Estate blog.
It's been great. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you, Iman.